Well, hi there. My name is John Kovac, and today we're going to talk about Paraguayan harps and what distinguishes them from other harps. I guess the most distinguishing feature is this. This is called a harmonic curve, and my understanding is that next to a concert harp, which has a very deep harmonic curve, something like this, comes down more and comes up even more, this is the most perfect curve there is next to a concert harp. And it gets into mathematics, but basically think of a straight line, and at some point the curve goes above the straight line, at some point it comes down below the straight line, and then again comes back up. And its purpose is many-fold, but it has to do with tone and the feel of the strings. Most other harps in the world, other than a concert harp, have a straighter line. Not, of course, straight, but the curve is much less pronounced. And by the way, I want to say this. I'm not demeaning other harps in the world or saying one is better than the other, but it is a difference. And in my opinion, the Paraguayan harp, I'm kind of prejudiced, has a better feel for me at least. The other distinguishing feature in a Paraguayan harp is this is the only harp in the world that has the strings come through the center of the neck. If you'll notice, the neck is, you might say, hollowed out. All the other harps in the world have the strings on one side of the neck, usually on the string closest to the player. And from the moment the harp is built, it's trying to torque itself out. Well, there's a lot of tension on harps in general, as much as maybe 2,000 pounds. The Paraguayan harp, since these strings are down the center, it puts the harp in harmony with itself. The more tension that's applied, you might say, the stronger the harp becomes. Now, another couple features of a Paraguayan style harp are this. If you were to measure the angle of the string to the soundboard, on a Paraguayan style harp, it's about 22 degrees. On many other style harps, I'm doing this is about a 35-degree angle. And what that translates to is there is much less tension on a Paraguayan harp, although it's still considerable. So on a harp of this style, it would have about, let's say, 800 pounds of tension if you added up all these strings. On a corresponding Celtic harp, it would be almost, say, 12 or 1,300 pounds. Another factor is this, that because of this less tension, you're allowed to put in this system for making sharps and flats. I hope you can see this. This is a little taquito, and this piece of wood does not touch the string, but if you want, this is an F. If I want an F sharp, I put my finger down here, and that becomes F sharp. No other harps, you can't do this with other harps because of just the physics of the way the instrument is set up. As long as we're on the subject of tension, since there is less tension on the strings, it takes less effort of the harpist to put those strings in motion. And I have a rather light touch, and you can see that I'm hardly really touching the strings, but harpists who play other style harps have to exert considerable tension, or I should say considerable effort, to get those strings in motion. Just to show you. Very little effort to get these strings vibrating. The other distinguishing characteristic is the strings are somewhat tighter or closer together on a Paraguayan harp than on conventional harps. And by conventional harps, I mean Celtic harps, concert harps. If we were to measure the distance, say, between an octave, just for purposes of illustration, let's say it's 2 inches on a Paraguayan harp from octave to octave. On a Celtic harp, it would be, I'd say roughly about this amount. So your fingers don't have to be as widely separated. Instead of this on, say, a concert harp, it's only this distance on a Paraguayan style harp. Another big characteristic of a Paraguayan harp is this. It's very light in weight because of this method of construction that allows less weight to be used to keep the harp together. In a corresponding Celtic harp of this size, this is, by the way, a 36-string harp, you would find most Celtic harps would weigh 35, 40 pounds. This harp weighs about 12 pounds, and that's a big deal when you're lugging this thing around. The other thing is, since it is lightweight, it, in my opinion, projects a much louder and brighter sound. Much like those who are into guitars, a flamenco guitar is very, very lightweight and allows those same characteristics. Another characteristic is this, that this harp is not freestanding. Most other harps have sort of like a leg system that allows them to stand freely on the floor. This harp is designed when you're not using it to lean against a wall like that. When you are carrying it, it's very, very simple. You just carry it like this. And I'm going to take you out with the Paraguayan tune, and before I do, I'll just point out one last difference. Here's your diatonic scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. On Paraguayan harps, typically the C's are blue and the F's are red, which is just the opposite of an American system where the C's are red and the F's are blue. That's it. Here's a tune called Pájaro Jogui. Thank you, and keep your thumbs up.